been 50 years to the day since a deadly tornado ripped through West Michigan, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake.
And for the past week, we've been bringing you stories and eyewitness accounts, gathering what we've learned. In tonight's conclusion, we answer the question, could it happen again?
3 separate tornadoes.
Large tornadoes are tangled through West Michigan's history. There's the Standale tornado of 1956.
Tornado forecast area.
The Palm Sunday tornado outbreak of 1965.
It started on the western edge of town.
And the Kalamazoo twister of 1980.
Between 1953 and 1977, we had a dozen F4 and F5 tornadoes here in Lower Michigan. Since 1977, we haven't had a single one.
Most of the tornadoes we see in West Michigan are small. Even the Kentwood tornado is considered weak on the intensity scale, only an EF1. For almost 40 years, large tornadoes have steered clear of our area. So with the Palm Sunday tornado outbreak, we had an F4 that swept across Kent County, and we had several other tornadoes that day. But could a large tornado like an F4 come across West Michigan again?
Boy, it certainly could.
This is what an EF4 looks like. The tornado that moved through northern Illinois earlier this week. This twister was less than 200 miles away from our location. And Storm Teammate Chief Meteorologist Bill Steffen says it's only a matter of time before one falls on our side of the lake.
Oh, it certainly will. It's not just a matter of if, it's when we get one of these again. And like I said, we're overdue for getting a big tornado going through a long track area here in the state of Michigan.
How can you tell that we're overdue? How do we not know that it was just a spurt way back in the day and now we're slowly leveling off with smaller tornadoes? What makes you think that we're going to see this repeat of a resurgence?
Well, there's been a lot of research on this, and I think part of the reason that we had the major tornadoes back in the 50s and 60s was the pattern of sea surface temperatures that we had. And I think we're going to be going back to that pattern here.
Weather is cyclical. The very fact that we've had several large tornadoes in our past means we should expect them in our future.
And like I said, I think there's certainly a possibility that we're going to get back toward a pattern where we're going to be seeing more of these storms.
Something to keep in mind as we enter into severe weather season here in West Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought to think about that coming through, especially with how much more population is in that area.
We have a couple of things that make that a little easier to take, though. The fact our technology has gotten better, for one, and two, you can make a plan. Those big tornadoes you can usually see coming for a while. You have a good amount of lead time, so if you have a plan in place, then you can stay safe. And actually, these are all things that we were talking about tonight. There's this big event. It took a few months to organize. This was actually at the Kennewa Hills High School and had a keynote speaker from Dr. Russell Schneider. This is the head of the Storm Prediction Center. So big deal that he was at the event to talk about this outbreak and some of the outlooks for the future. And our very own Bill Steffen was on a panel of experts there to talk with Dr. Schneider. So very exciting stuff there.
You got to imagine we're not the only ones asking that question.
Oh, yeah.
And always we know Storm Teammates working to try to be the next step ahead of, you know, making sure we know when a storm like that's coming.
Absolutely.
Ellen, thank you. We do have more information about all of this on this tornado and what you can do to prepare if it should ever happen again. That's all up for you on our website at woodtv.com.